everybody, and thank you for joining me on this cold Melbourne day. I'm here to show you how to create a paper sculpture. Sound a bit weird? Stay tuned and I'll show you how. This is something like what you'll create today. It's super abstract, don't even know which way it goes up. It's three-dimensional, and all we use is paper. I'm going to show you 8 techniques to paper manipulation or paper construction that you can use to create your very own version of this task. When I show you an example, I don't want you to create something that looks exactly the same. I'm simply here to show you some steps, some techniques and some tools to create an artwork that you are happy with and that is yours. So please don't endeavour to make your artwork look like mine. Please just try to learn from the things I show you and create something that's yours. Today we're creating a collage, which means that we're using paper as our main material for creating today. So grab whatever type of paper you have. It might be coloured paper, it might be newspaper, it might be a magazine. Could even be paper that you've decorated before and want to turn it into another artwork. So this is our main thing today. Grab as much of it as you can. You'll also need some scissors to do some cutting and some glue to do some sticking. If you need some different materials, please check the description below because I've got heaps listed there, as well as a discount code. That's it there. To buy material at Zart Art, they have everything you could possibly need, and this gives you 10% off. All right, so I'm going to be teaching you 8 different paper manipulation techniques today to create a 3-dimensional sort of paper sculpture. And we'll do that with all this paper. So the first thing you need to decide though is which piece of paper is going to become your backing or your background. So I've got sort of A3 paper here, but you could do this task as an A4 as well. You just need to cut things a little bit smaller. So my daughter Delilah has created this gorgeous sort of patterned background. I might use that as my background today, which means I'll be cutting all of this coloured paper and gluing it onto this base. If you just have a plain piece of white paper, that will work fine too. So, paper manipulation technique number 1. Spiral. What you need to do is cut a circle. Now circles are actually quite tricky to cut, so if you find it easier, you could trace around something circular like a cup and then cut it out like this. Then it might help you to do this first. You're going to draw a spiral. Kind of like if you were to draw the inside of a snail's shell. Now we're going to try to cut along that swirly line, and this is tricky. You can do it super tiny by making the edges really close to one another, or you can make it a bit larger. But I'm practicing my cutting skills, so I'm really trying to get on that line as best as I can. You can of course do this freehand without the drawing if you feel confident enough. There, we've ended up with a spiral. I'm going to put quite a bit of glue on the little tail there, find a spot for my spiral. You can also stick the other side down if you want it to sort of be 3-dimensional like that. I'm going to do that today, but if you prefer, you can leave it flat. I'm going to show you lots of different techniques, but the way you work with them and the way that you apply them to your artwork is completely up to you. All right, that was number 1. Number 2, we're going to call Fringe. I've got a very big piece of paper here. It doesn't need to be this big. I'm going to trim it down. All right. For our fringe today, I'm going to use this strip of orange paper, and the way we do a fringe is by cutting parallel lines, nice and straight. I'll show you like this. Careful of your fingers. Nice and close together. And it's almost like if you were to have a a fringe in front of your face with your hair. So we're essentially cutting tiny little hairs in a nice straight line. You don't want to cut all the way up because that will chop the paper and make it smaller. So we do want to leave a gap here. And it takes a lot of patience to keep the lines nice and straight and get them close to one another, making them parallel. If you were to get a bit lazy and do your fringes like that, that's not really correct. You can see that they're quite large. So please take your time to do nice and close little strands of hair like this. The effort you put into your artwork is definitely what you'll get out of it in the finished product. So this is a fringe. You can do lots of different things with a fringe. You could have it sticking up like that. You could also curl the ends, which is actually another paper technique I'm going to show you soon. You could just fold them up so that they're a bit more three-dimensional. So much you can do with fringing. And I'm going to stick that on the edge of my paper here so it has a nice sort of fringy side to it. Now we're up to number 3. This one's called curl, and I alluded to it just before, but it's pretty much curling up a piece of paper almost as if you had curly hair. So you could use a pencil, you could use your finger, but it's just a matter of wrapping a piece of paper like this, nice and tight, and it curls up like that. So when sticking it onto your base, you could stick it like this. You could stick it on obviously like this. You could do it multiple times. You could make them skinny pieces of paper and see how that changes the effect. For this paper sculpture, I really want you to learn how much you can do with the one material being paper, but there's so many different things you can do. And then even just with curling, there's so many different ways you could show curling or attach it. So I'm gonna do some different thicknesses in the paper. Attach them like that. You could even do a curl within a curl. See if that'll work. Go. So you can see there, I've done my curl inside a curl. Maybe you could see how changing the shape of the paper that you use might change the type of curl that is created as well. Oh, that's a cool one. When I'm sticking on my paper as well, I'm sort of not being just blasé about it. I am thinking about what might look nice, what colours might look nice together, what styles might look nice together. I'm going to do some fringing now. See what happens if I curl them. It's a bit tricky because there's lots of pieces. Hey, that looks sick. Now we're up to paper manipulation style number 4, and you need some strips for that like this. This one's called loop, and after you've cut some paper strips like this, all you need to do is put a bit of glue on the end here, and we're going to attach the other end, making a loop, just like that. So then when you attach it to your paper, it just needs a little bit of extra glue, like that. Now what I'm going to do is actually attach my loops to my loops. See what happens. That looks cool. Almost looks like a flower coming out from my page. might do that again over here because I like that. Now we're up to paper manipulation style number 5. And I'm going to call this one Zigzag, because essentially you're using a strip of paper to create a zigzag line through folds. I'll show you what I mean. So when we're folding, we're going to fold over, and then we're going to fold under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. You can see the paper there. Now we're going to hide it and put it under so we can't see it anymore. Over, under. Now it's important to change and alternate from over to under, because I find sometimes students, see, that's how it comes out. I find that sometimes students just keep doing the same thing. So they'll go over, 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 and you can see it's not the same. It just gets wrapped up. So you do need to alternate. I'll show you one more time so you can see. Over, under, so it's hidden. Over, so you can see it. Under, so it's hidden. Over, under. It's a bit fiddly with some smaller paper and smaller folds, but you can see that in the end, the zigzag is more detailed. Like that. That looks pretty cool. It's just a matter of finding a place to stick that. I'm going to stick it like that, and then again on the other side so that it sort of curls over, creates a cool kind of loopy shape on my sculpture there. You might notice when I'm gluing, I'm not putting glue directly onto my base here. I'm actually gluing the paper that I'm sticking down, and I'm doing it separately to my artwork on a separate kind of scrap piece of paper. And that's so that I don't get heaps of glue on my art and it doesn't look messy. That's looking cool and three-dimensional. That leads me to number 6. This is called Accordion, and you need to have mastered the zigzag before you can do the accordion, because it's essentially doing a zigzag with 2 different color pieces of paper. All right, so you need 2 strips of paper, just like I've shown you here. You can do alternate colors, and you're going to put a little bit of glue on the end of one and attach the other color at a right angle. That means that you're creating an L shape. Can you see that? L. All right. Now what we're going to do is whatever color you see on top, you need to use the other color to fold. So I've got blue on top at the moment. That means I need to use my green, and I'm folding it on top there. Now that I've got green here, I need to use my blue to fold over the top there. Now green, now blue. Now green, now blue. Green, you're alternating. Blue, green, blue, green, blue. You have no paper left. It needs a bit of glue to lock it in. And chop off any excess paper, and you're left with an accordion style paper thing like that. These are really good if you're wanting to do anything that's like pop-up with an artwork. You can use that, but that will sit pretty cool right in the middle of my artwork, I think. That was fun, so I'm going to do one more. Cool, guys. Hopefully yours looks different to mine. I'm really just trying to show you some strategies and things you can do, but I'm hoping that you're able to apply it and create an artwork that does look a bit different. All right, the next thing we're going to learn is called a fold and cut. If you get a piece of paper like this, and we're going to fold it. Now, when we're cutting, we're going to cut where the fold is. This won't work unless you're cutting on the fold. The idea is just to cut some different shapes. You can be as random as you want with it. You can do semicircles. You can do whatever you like. I'm doing some triangles here. There, but a bit of a pattern. When you unfold it, you can notice that it becomes a bit of a pattern here that is symmetrical. That looks pretty awesome. So what I'm going to do is fold the sides here, and I'm going to trim the edges because I don't want this much paper on my base. And I'm going to stick it on like this. So I just need glue on these tabs here. This is paper manipulation style number 8, I think. All right, this is called the roll. And this one is probably one of the most simple. All you're doing is using a strip of paper. You're going to glue one end, and you're going to roll the other end to connect it as if it were a loop or a roll or a circle. Then we're going to glue the bottom down onto our artwork. Now, obviously, if you have a larger piece of paper, a longer piece of paper, the circle or the roll will differ. It'll be different. What I'm actually going to do is put a smaller roll inside my big roll there. You do need to make sure that you're using enough glue, guys. If you're not using enough glue, things will just fall off and your beautiful work and effort will just be wasted. So please make sure you're using enough glue so that everything stays nice and intact on your artwork. So with any extra space, you might choose to repeat one of the paper manipulation strategies that I have shown you. Also, in a previous video, I have shown you how to do a paper manipulation collage of a bouquet of flowers. But when you're done, you should have a really effective sort of abstract paper sculpture. That might look something like this. I'd love to see what you've done with this task. If you've had a go, please make sure you tag me at ArtLife Art Lessons on Facebook or at artlife.melb on Instagram and follow me there because I'd love to see how you've interacted with this lesson. Please also make sure that you've subscribed to the ArtLife YouTube channel and give me a thumbs up if you've liked this task. So it's as simple as that. I really hope you've been able to create a fantastic abstract three-dimensional paper sculpture today and use the 8 techniques that I've shown you to have a go with paper, have a go at folding, have a go at cutting, and enjoy this task. Thanks so much for joining me. Have an awesome day.